Good day, viewers. You are welcome to Ogbo Media House. I am here in the studio once again to bring to you another series of our leadership conversation. In our previous conversation, we talked about don't only sell your ideas, but yourself. But today, we'll be looking at the leadership matter from another angle entirely, which is going to be focusing on leadership delivery and its reward. Leadership, as the name implies, is the most rewarding asset in the world today. When you look at leadership, you will realize that it's the most rewarding asset in the world today. Take Nigeria, for instance. Who are the most paid workers in this country today? They are people in leadership. Because of the reward attached to leadership, almost everybody in our society today is desiring to be in leadership position. But they forget one thing, that there is one big challenge attaching to leadership that most people who are desiring the position today, leadership positions, did not take their time to consider, which is the problem of leadership delivery, how to deliver leadership. This has been a problem in Nigeria over the years. Even today, in our democratic system of government, the problem most people that maneuver themselves into leadership positions are having, that is the problem of re-election. How to get the supporter of the electorate for their second term, for their re-election. Many people in leadership positions are finding it hard. Why? Because of their inability to deliver leadership effectively. That is why today we'll be looking at what leaders must do in order for them to deliver leadership effectively. In leadership, there are two things. That is, leadership, you either have leadership delivery or you have leadership abortion. Both of them are the act of application. When a leader could not apply leadership effectively, what people will see is leadership abortion. That is, a leader or a person in the position of leadership could not deliver leadership effectively. So the society will witness leadership abortion. And for us to overcome such situation, leaders must learn to do certain things in order for their society to experience effective leadership delivery. That is the topic we are focusing on today. Therefore, I will be discussing with you some few things that leaders must do in order for them to deliver leadership effectively. I will not go to the area of its reward today. But let's look at what leaders must do in order for them to deliver leadership effectively. If there is anything challenging in leadership, the most challenging aspect of leadership is leadership delivery. Most people don't consider this. That is why everyone is desiring leadership position, fighting for leadership position. Getting to leadership position is not a problem, but the problem is how to deliver leadership. So I will be discussing with you right now some few things that leaders must do in order for their society to experience leadership delivery. Number one, what leaders must do for their society to experience leadership delivery, leaders must take their time to know where the society is going and how to get there. Leader must develop the capacity to know where their society or a nation is going, how to get there, who they may need to get there. When a leader has the knowledge of where the society is heading to, how to get there, he will remain focused. And when a leader is focused, he can deliver leadership effectively. When someone did not know where his society is going, how to get there, he will sit in leadership position and he will not know what to do. That is what we are experiencing from so many people in leadership position. They don't have the knowledge of where their society is going. They don't know how to get there. So they are just sitting down in position, waiting for the allowances and salaries. But that is not what they are employed for. As a leader, you are to have the dream, the vision. See where your society is going in your mind. Anything you want to do, see where your society is going in your mind before you start. That is what we are saying. The moment a leader would have that knowledge, he will have no problem with leadership delivery. Then number two thing that a leader must do in order for him to deliver leadership effectively. A leader must develop the capacity to know that or to understand that activity does not necessarily mean an accomplishment. Activity does not necessarily mean an accomplishment. Most of the things we are suffering in this country is that people are busy doing things that are not really beneficial to the people and the society as much. They are busy doing what does not give much benefit to the citizen and the society as much. They thought that staying busy, doing something, it means you are delivering leadership. No. You must understand that staying busy does not mean you are accomplished something. That is why when you look around in our government today, you can see that there are a series of abandoned projects. But now, thank God that there is a little change. If not, then you will see a series of abandoned projects. Why? Because when a leader embarks on projects that don't really benefit the citizen and the society, the project will not be encouraged to continue. So you need to understand that as a leader, you shouldn't just stay busy, but you should understand what to do per time. That is just what a leader must do in order for him to deliver leadership effectively. When you have this knowledge, you will not have problem with leadership delivery. You understand that you are not just to be doing things as you like. You have to take them in the way that they should be done. That is number two thing a leader must do in order for him to deliver leadership effectively. Activity does not necessarily mean an accomplishment. Then number three things that the leader must do for him to develop or to deliver leadership effectively. A leader must apply the principle of timing, planning and timing. Planning and timing. One of the biggest problems we have in leadership today in our country is the problem of planning and timing. Even with the current situation in the country, situation of insecurity, all what we are seeing today is as a result of lack of adequate planning from the leaders. Since leaders could not plan effectively, they could not deliver effectively. Planning and timing, they are things that a leader cannot do without. Any leader that did not take recognition of the principle of planning and timing will not be able to deliver leadership effectively. Planning and timing in this regard means leaders should be able to know what to do, where to do them, how to do them, and when to do them. A leader should be able to have the knowledge of what to do, where to do them, when to do them, and how to do them. When you don't have this knowledge as a leader, you will be touching things here and there, and you will not be able to meet up with the people's demand. In Nigeria today, people are crying every day about leadership failure. And people will say, but the leaders are trying. Yes, leaders are trying. When you don't meet people's need at a time of need, whatever you do will not be meaningful to them as much. You are doing something, but not at the time it should be done. People will not appreciate it. So as a leader, you must appreciate and value the principle of planning and timing so that you will be able to meet the need of the people at a time, not behind the schedule. That is the problem we are having. Take for example the case of insecurity. We will not, as a country, we don't always take precaution. They say prevention is better than cure. But because our leaders are not planning ahead of the insecurity is overwhelming us. Until when these hoodlums strike, before our leader will come to react. That means they are not planning. And likewise to every of our systems. So when leaders fail to plan, like the people say, when you fail to plan, you are planning to fail. So leader must appreciate and value the principle of planning and timing so that you can deliver leadership effectively. These three things, they are very, very important in leadership. Very, very important in leadership. You must always try to know where your society is going. Don't just stay busy, but learn to prioritize. That is what we mean. Then appreciate and value the principle of planning and timing. When these three things are paramount to the leader, then leader can deliver leadership effectively. So leadership delivery simply means then ability or the capacity in which the leader know what to do and how to do them effectively. That is leadership delivery then. So as a leader, don't just believe that once you get into the leadership, then you are in charge. No. You can get into a leadership position and still not be in charge if you cannot manage these three things we discussed this morning. This is how far we can go today. So please, I will encourage you to keep watching us. Follow us in all our social media handles. Like and share. As you do, you will not regret it. I remain your regular host on Leadership Conversation. Thank you.